everyone. Today I am presenting an interesting case of cavernous hemangioma in the orbital cavity. There is no conflict of interest to disclose. This case is a 35-year-old female hailing from Aurangabad, Bihar. She complained of swelling over the lateral aspect of right eye's lower lid associated with diminution of vision in both the eyes since last 2 years. The swelling in lower lid of right eye was gradually increasing in size and associated with outward bulging and diminution of vision. There was no history of ocular trauma or increase in the size of mass with cough or cold or redness or constant pain. There was no history of pulsatile proptosis or increase in proptosis with Valsalva or crying or changing posture. No history of any previous ophthalmological medication and surgeries or any systemic illness whatsoever, and patient general and systemic examinations were within normal limits. Coming to ocular examination, basically focusing over the right eye because left eye was within normal limit. Uncorrected visual acuity was 6/18 in right eye, which was not being corrected on pinhole. Color vision and contrast were normal. Extraocular movement were restricted in dextroversion. And coming to lid and adnexa, there was abaxial proptosis in right eye. The swelling near the lateral aspect of lower lid was present, which was normal in color and temperature. It was non-tender with a smooth surface and regular margin. It was smooth. It had smooth and regular orbital margin, and inferior scleral show was present, as can be seen in this picture. On fundoscopy, choroidal folds were present in the macular area inferiorly, although the patient was highly uncooperative, so the picture is not so clear. And on Hertels, at the base of 110, there was a difference of 7 mm between the two eyes. Coming to investigations, the blood investigations were within normal limit and viral markers were non-reactive, and followed by imaging, and we chose contrast-enhanced MRI of brain and orbit, in which we saw a well-defined T2 hyperintense enhancing mass seen in the inferolateral aspect of extracorneal compartment of right eye. The mass focally abuts the outer coat of eye and displaces the extraocular muscles. All these features were highly suggestive of benign tumor, likely hemangioma. So our provisional diagnosis was right eye extracorneal hemangioma, and we planned for right eye excisional biopsy under local anesthesia in order to confirm our diagnosis, and biopsy was sent for histopathological evaluation. It was suggestive of cavernous hemangioma, as can be seen in this case. Slide. On follow-up at 1 month, uncorrected visual acuity improved from 6/18 to 6/12, and although the extraocular movements were still limited, but on fundoscopy, there were absent choroidal folds, and at 3 months follow-up, extraocular movements were full and free in all the gazes, and vision was 6/12. As can be seen in this picture, the extraocular movements were full and free. Coming to discussion, cavernous hemangiomas of the orbit are benign, slow-growing, circumscribed vascular malformations, which may, in some cases, present acutely. It is usually found in middle-aged adults, especially in females, and represent about 4 to 6% of all intraorbital or retrobulbar masses. 80% hemangiomas are in intracorneal compartment with painless progressive proptosis being the most common presentation, followed by diminution of vision. Surgical management is definitive treatment modality in these cases. Take-home message was that cavernous hemangioma is a vascular malformation and can present with motility defects and strabismus. It is mostly unilateral and can present with hyperopic shift. In acute presentation of pain, immediate surgical intervention is required, although acute presentation is rare. Thank you.
So, nice case. A couple of advices as you're a postgraduate?
Yes, ma'am.
SR or postgraduate?
PG, ma'am.
PG. So, in your examination part, never use the term restriction loosely, because when you say, you should simply say limitation of movement.
Yes, ma'am.
Hertels is not used for an abaxial proptosis measurement. Always use scales. Hertels is used for an axial proptosis. Okay. So these two things. The other thing is that what would be your differential? Basically, you are presenting a case of infratemporal mass,
yes,
orbital mass. So, and whenever you do any case presentation, this is for all the residents who have presented till now. the first thing you should do is you should show your picture, because you, after you finish half of your presentation, the examiner still doesn't know what we are really looking at. So just show your picture once and start speaking along with it, so that a mental picture is made. Then you spoke of, you kept describing a mass. The mass could not be seen. It was actually a orbital mass. So your description was a little, not up to the mark. Then what would be your differential diagnosis of a, abaxial, basically it was an patient of abaxial proptosis with mass in the infratemporal quadrant. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is your differential diagnosis?
Ma'am, it can be lymphangioma. And
Lymphangioma,
it can
okay.
be hemangioma or lymphangioma. It can be orbital varices.
So,
The patient can present
so
with
one
it.
part is your vascular. The other thing is cavernous hemangioma as a term is no longer used. We speak of vascular venous malformations. The terminology has changed as far as vascular malformation is concerned.
Yes, ma'am.
So, one was the vascular mass. Anything else?
It can be a lymphatic mass.
Again, a part of vascular malformations. No? Anything else? Any other masses you can think of in this area? So whenever you have orbit, just think of what all structures are there in an orbit. Orbit would
Extraocular
have what?
muscles associated
Nerves hoingi.
with nerves
So
and
think of tumors which can arise from nerves.
schwannoma, but it will.
Why can't it be a schwannoma? What is wrong with it? You can definitely have a schwannoma there. What else? There can be cysts, different kind of cysts. So what cysts can be there in that area?
Don't remember exactly.
Okay. So what I am trying to imply is that just don't jump onto one diagnosis. Okay. Of course, cavernous hemangioma is a very well encapsulated mass. Anyone's, it's the easiest tumor to be taken out. Okay. And why didn't you think of you took a skin approach. Why not do a swinging eyelid crease incision, and you could have, saved the patient from getting any incision. It gives a very good exposure.
And extraocular, matlab, inferior orbital.
That is
it
the
gives
the
better
approach. I
exposure
think
to us.
Seema, you would agree with it. That is the approach which would the best approach for this kind of a tumor that was located.
And we were more confident.
So anyway, very well presented. So these are just tips for your long term presentation. Abhi to tumhara this is the first step, na? You will go ahead and present. So just
Yeah, and just to complain, since your first differential remains a vascular, did you do a Valsalva for this patient?
I think she
That
said
should be, you mentioned it,
Haan,
all right. I
mentioned it.
And the second thing is, palpation.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not sure, like was it
Yes.
firm, soft on palpation? Did
It
you
was
cover
soft,
that?
not very hard, not hard
All right.
at all.
And the third
It was
aspect, I
mobile.
mean, it might be beyond this discussion, but if you look at the post-operative pictures of the patient, she still has some residual proptosis, even at 3 months follow-up.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can go back and see what could be the possible cause in this patient. If it's a hemangioma, completely excised, there should not be any proptosis. Sometimes even at 1 week, it's completely normal eye, because hemangiomas are very well-defined lesion. This patient still has some residual proptosis as 3 months follow-up. So maybe you would like to do a follow-up scan and see if something is there inside or if there is a recurrence or something.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.